So hello to all of you. I hope you are studying at your home. And in last class of chemistry in everyday life, we are going to discuss about the cleansing agents, or we can call that surfactant, or we can call that surface active substances. So basically in NCERT it is mentioned as cleansing agents. तो बात करेंगे आज क्लींजिंग एजेंट्स के बारे में केमिस्ट्री इन एवरीडे लाइफ की लास्ट क्लास में. क्लींजिंग एजेंट और इन शॉर्ट वी कैन कॉल दैट क्लीनिंग एजेंट्स. These can be defined as the natural or synthetic substances that are used to assist the cleaning process. Cleaning is primarily the removal of dirt and dust. बेसिकली क्या होता है, किसी भी सरफेस पे, चाहे वो कपड़ा हो, चाहे वो यूटेंसिल्स हो, चाहे वो कोई एक फ्लोर हो, उस पर जो भी इम्प्योरिटीज़ है वो या तो डस्ट की फॉर्म में होती है या डर्ट की फॉर्म में होती है. उसे हटाने के लिए जिन केमिकल्स का यूज़ किया जाता है, ये केमिकल नेचुरल भी हो सकते हैं और सिंथेटिक भी हो सकते हैं. अगर हम पुराने टाइम की बात करें तो पुराने टाइम में जब नदी या समुद्र के किनारे पर देखा जाता था तो वहाँ पर कई बार सॉल्ट की एक लेयर जमा हो जाती थी और उसी को वो काम में लेते थे एज अ सोप. लेकिन जैसे जैसे डेवलपमेंट हुआ तो डेवलपमेंट के साथ साथ कुछ इम्प्योरिटीज़ ऐसी थी जो स्टिक्ड रहती थी कपड़े पर. ऑयली इम्प्योरिटी जनरली उनसे नहीं निकलती थी. तो ऐसी इम्प्योरिटी जो ऑयली है, स्टिक करती है सरफेस पर, उसे निकालना मुश्किल होता है. उनको हटाने के लिए केमिस्ट्री में कुछ ऐसे केमिकल्स को यूज़ किया गया जिनको क्लीनिंग एजेंट्स कहा जाता है. तो क्लीनिंग एजेंट्स वो केमिकल्स हैं जो नेचुरल या सिंथेटिक किसी भी तरह के हो सकते हैं और इनका मेन काम होता है किसी भी सरफेस पर चिपकी हुई इम्प्योरिटीज़ को, डस्ट को, डर्ट को हटाना. Chemical substances which concentrate at the surface of the solution or interfaces form surface films, reduce surface tension of the solution and help in moving dirt. सबसे बड़ी बात यह कि ये काम करते कैसे हैं, क्लीनिंग एजेंट या क्लींजिंग एजेंट काम कैसे करते हैं, उसके बारे में स्पेशली फोकस किया गया है एनसीईआरटी में और होपफुली वहीं से क्वेश्चन बनेगा. एक क्वेश्चन बड़ा जनरली फिजिक्स में भी पूछा जाता है कि इफ़ यू आर इंक्लूडिंग डिटर्जेंट इन वाटर देन व्हाट इज गोइंग टू हैपन. देखिए, जब तक पानी में डिटर्जेंट नहीं मिलाया हुआ है तब तक पानी की सरफेस स्टेबल रहती है. लेकिन जैसे ही आप उसमें पानी में डिटर्जेंट मिलाते हैं वो बबल्स की फॉर्म में ऊपर आने लगता है. इसका मतलब ये है कि डिटर्जेंट मिलाने पर पानी का सरफेस टेंशन कम हो जाता है. तो यही कंसेप्ट काम करता है इम्प्योरिटीज़ को निकालने में. whenever you are including soap or detergent in water then the surface tension of this particular solution decrease and it helps in emulsifying the grease and other dirts from the surface. तो ये सरफेस से उनको हटाने में हेल्प करते हैं. तो बेसिक कंसेप्ट ये है यहाँ पर कि क्लीनिंग एजेंट मिलाने से वाटर का सरफेस टेंशन कम हो जाता है और अगर वो ऑयली इम्प्योरिटीज़ हैं तो एक प्रोसेस है जिसका नाम है इमल्सिफिकेशन. आपने देखा होगा कि बॉडी में, हमारे स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन में जहाँ फूड का सबसे ज़्यादा डाइजेशन होता है वहाँ भी पैंक्रियाटिक जूस, लिवर से आने वाले सिक्रेशंस मिल करके इमल्सिफिकेशन करते हैं. तो बेसिकली सरफेस एक्टिव एजेंट्स या सर्फेक्टेंट्स या क्लीनिंग एजेंट वो केमिकल्स हैं जो डर्ट्स को, इम्प्योरिटीज़ को सरफेस से हटाने के काम में लिए जाते हैं. दिस एक्टिव एजेंट कंटेन टू ग्रुप्स, वन ऑयल लविंग विच इज़ कॉल्ड लिपोफिलिक एंड द अदर वाटर लविंग विच इज़ कॉल्ड हाइड्रोफिलिक. अब यहाँ पर एक कंसेप्ट और आपको समझना है. वो कंसेप्ट ये है कि क्लीनिंग एजेंट चाहे वो सोप हो चाहे वो डिटर्जेंट हो, बेसिकली उसके स्ट्रक्चर में दो पार्ट्स होते हैं. एक पार्ट जो होता है वो होता है वाटर लविंग. वाटर को जनरली हाइड्रो बोला जाता है, तो हाइड्रोफिलिक मीन्स वाटर लविंग, वाटर अफेक्शनेट. सेकेंड वन इज वाटर गेटिंग अवे फ्रॉम द वाटर, इट मीन्स इट इज हाइड्रोफोबिक. और जो हाइड्रोफोबिक होता है वो फैट लविंग होता है या लिपोफिलिक होता है. तो बेसिकली लिपोफिलिक हाइड्रोफोबिक रहेंगे और हाइड्रोफिलिक जो हैं, जो वाटर लविंग हैं, वो लिपोफोबिक रहेंगे. तो फोबिक मीन्स गेटिंग अवे एंड फिलिक मीन्स गेटिंग इन कॉन्टैक्ट. तो दो तरह के क्लीनिंग एजेंट हैं जो हमें समझने हैं. दो तरह के क्लीनिंग एजेंट्स हमें समझने हैं यहाँ पर, एक सोप है और एक डिटर्जेंट है. बट बिफोर स्टार्टिंग दैट हम थोड़ा सा इसको क्लियर कर लें कि देर आर बेसिकली टू टाइप ऑफ क्लीनिंग एजेंट्स और सर्फेक्टेंट. वन इज कॉल्ड सोप and the second one is called synthetic detergent. In examination there may be three type of question confirmed यहाँ से आता है, लेकिन तीन तरह से क्वेश्चन पूछा जाएगा. या तो क्वेश्चन पूछा जाएगा सोप के ऊपर इंडिविजुअली, या पूछा जाएगा डिटर्जेंट के ऊपर इंडिविजुअली, या दोनों के कंपैरिजन के बेसिस पे आता है. बेसिकली क्वेश्चन जो फ्रिक्वेंटली पूछे जाते हैं वो इनके कंपैरिजन पे आते हैं. तो आपको दोनों अच्छे ढंग से पढ़ने हैं. सोप एंड डिटर्जेंट आर द टॉपिक्स विच आर वेरी कॉमन फॉर द साइंस स्टूडेंट और यहाँ पहले भी पढ़ के आ चुके हैं. सो वी आर स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम द इनिशियल वन, वी आर स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम द soap. Actually soaps are there are two definitions for that. One is these are like the cleaning agent or cleansing agent, which are able to remove the dirts and impurities from the surface. And the second thing is chemically soaps are sodium or potassium salt of higher fatty acids. That is very important. These are the sodium or potassium salt of higher fatty acids. Fatty acids, like you can consider oil in our fat in our body and oil, common vegetable oils. These are the fatty acids. We are having several fatty acids like stearic acid. We are having palmitic acid. I'm giving you some names over there. Over here, one is lauric acid. The formula for that is C11H23COOH. We are having palmitic acid. It is a very common kind of fatty acid. Palmitic acid. C15H31COOH. Stearic acid. C17H35COOH. These all are having COOH group. So ultimately are carboxylic acid in nature. सो लॉरिक एसिड हो गया, पामिटिक एसिड हो गया, स्टेरिक एसिड हो गया, ये सारे के सारे एसिड्स वो हैं जो हायर फैटी एसिड्स में काउंट होते हैं क्योंकि इनमें कार्बन का नंबर जाता है. तो बेसिकली अगर डिफाइन करें तो सोप्स क्या हैं? सोप्स आर सोडियम और पोटेशियम सॉल्ट ऑफ हायर फैटी एसिड्स सच एज लॉरिक एसिड, पामिटिक एसिड, स्टेरिक एसिड, ओलिक एसिड, लाइक दैट. दूसरा अगर हम इसको डिफाइन करें तो सोप्स आर फॉर्म्ड बाय हीटिंग फैट और ऑयल विद एक्वस सोडियम हाइड्रोक्साइड. एक्वस सोडियम हाइड्रोक्साइड NaOH. कास्टिक सोडा को अगर आप गर्म करते हैं और फैटी एसिड्स के साथ में या हायर फैटी एसिड्स के साथ में, ऑयल के साथ में, तो अल्टीमेटली जो आपको प्रोडक्ट मिलेगा दैट विल बी द सॉल्ट, और वो सॉल्ट होगा सोडियम सॉल्ट. आप इसकी जगह अगर आप लेते हैं यू आर हैविंग पोटेशियम हाइड्रोक्साइड, कास्टिक पोटाश अगर आप काम लेते हैं तो वो पोटेशियम सॉल्ट बनेगा. तो सोडियम और पोटेशियम दोनों ही सॉल्ट्स को अगर फैटी एसिड्स के बन गए हैं तो उन्हें आप सोप कहते हैं. तो बेसिकली अगर हम केमिकली डिफाइन करें तो सोप्स आर द सोडियम और पोटेशियम सॉल्ट ऑफ हायर फैटी एसिड्स. सोप बनाने की जो प्रोसेस है उसका नाम है सोपेनिफिकेशन. दैट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. साबुन बनाने की प्रोसेस का नाम है सोपेनिफिकेशन. याद रखिएगा, साबुन बनाने की प्रोसेस सोपेनिफिकेशन, और साबुन के काम करने की जो प्रोसेस है दैट इज बेसिकली कॉल्ड मिसेलाइजेशन, जिसे आप फर्दर टॉपिक में डिस्कस करेंगे. सो वी आर हैविंग ester of fatty acid. We are having the triester और glycerol ester of stearic acid. बेसिकली जो एक्टिव फॉर्म है एसिड का वो एस्टर की फॉर्म में हम लोग यूज कर रहे हैं. तो स्टेरिक एसिड का एस्टर फॉर्म हमने लिया है, और ये ट्राइएस्टराइन फॉर्म है क्योंकि यहाँ पर हम इसको C17H35COO फॉर्म में लेना है. It is reacting with the NaOH, and in presence of heat it will turn into the sodium stearate. 3 molecules of sodium stearate will be formed during this process. So basically we are using the ester of a higher fatty acid. This ester is reacting in a huge amount of sodium hydroxide. When this will react with the huge amount of sodium hydroxide in presence of heat, it will turn into the sodium salt of stearic acid, and this particular sodium salt of stearic acid is called soap. In place of that, if we are using KOH or potassium hydroxide in higher temperature condition, then this the potassium hydroxide will form potassium stearate. So whenever you are using any kind of higher fatty acid like palmitic acid, stearic acid, oleic acid, lauric acid, turning it to in its ester form and then reacting with the caustic potash or caustic soda, then in that condition we will ultimately get sodium stearate or potassium stearate. These are basically the chemical formulas of soap. The most important question which has been asked in examination, what is the byproduct of the sopanification process? Actually, sopanification process is ultimately pursued to produce soap, but ultimately along with the soap we are also getting the neighboring product, and the neighboring product for that is glycerol. So basically the glycerol is the byproduct of sopanification. Glycerol is a very common compound. It is having 3 OH groups, so ultimately it is trihydric alcohol. The solution of glycerol is basically used in form of glycerine in several kind of medicines. Glycerol is also a very good, very commercial product. So glycerol is the byproduct of sopanification. That is a very important question. The main product is soap, and the byproduct for that is glycerol. So we have discussed about the soap and its chemical composition. It is basically the sodium and potassium salt of higher fatty acids. The next point about the soap is examiner can ask you the different forms of soap. Actually, it is given in your NCERT. Some of the examples are given, but you should know about some other examples. The soap can be classified into different categories on the basis of their application. For example, we are having a soap called toilet soaps. Basically, soaps are classified into 2 forms. One is hard soap, and the second one is soft soap. Hard soaps are those soaps which are not basically skin favorable, means they can create some adverse effect on skin if regularly used. These are basically used for floor, for specific clothes and utensils. So hard soaps are those soaps which are hard to skin. These are basically the sodium salt of fatty acids. Basically sodium stearate, sodium palmitate, sodium oleate. These are the soaps which are considered as the hard soap. So these are not skin favorable. While whenever we are using the potassium salt of higher fatty acids, then these are forming soft soap. So potassium salts of higher fatty acids produce soft soap, and the sodium salt form hard soap. So hard soaps are adverse for the skin. So we are discussing about the different type of soaps. The first one is toilet soaps, prepared by using better grades of fats and oils, and care is taken to the removal of excess alkali. Means these are basically this potassium salt, because directly used for the skin. Floating soaps, prepared by beating tiny air bubbles into the products before their hardening. These are the soaps which are having which are forming a huge amount of foam. The next one is transparent soap, as we have several soaps in commercial product, like Pierce is a kind of soap which is having transparent nature. The transparent nature in this particular type of soap is due to the ethanol and the remaining glycerin or glycerol. Actually, glycerol is basically used in this kind of soap. So transparent soaps are those specific kind. The medicated soap, that has been discussed in earlier classes. The medicated soaps are those soaps which are having a specific inclusion of an antiseptic. So in last class we have discussed about the bithionol. Actually, bithionol is a specific kind of chemical substance which is used in medicated soaps. Like Dettol is also included over there. Savlon is included over there. And apart of that, the medicated soaps are basically having bithionol. That has been asked in examination. What is the chemical included in medicated soap? That is bithionol. The next one is shaving soap. Actually, I have discussed earlier. These are the soaps which are basically having potassium. Contains glycerol to prevent rapid drying. While preparing, a gum called rosin is added to them. Actually, these should produce higher amount of leather, means foam. So that's why we are including rosin in that. It forms sodium rosinate, which leathers well. Laundry soaps, the soaps which are basically used in cleansing the clothes, contains filter like sodium rosinate, sodium silicate, borax, sodium carbonate. Soap chips, made by running a thin sheet of melted soap onto a cool cylinder and scraping off in small broken pieces. Actually, this is also known as paper soap. Whenever you will travel with the railways and other vehicles, then you will be prescribed such kind of soap. Soap granules, dried miniature soap bubbles, soap powder, and scoring soaps. Contains some soap scoring agents such as powdered pumic or finely divided sand. These are basically known as soap powders. So for exam point of view, I can mention medicated soap as an important one, transparent soap, and I think these two are repetitively asked. And hard soap and soft soap concept should be clear. So we have discussed about the different type of soap. Now we are discussing about the disadvantages of the soap. Actually, it has been studied in earlier classes even, कि soaps cannot be used in hard water. The water is basically of two types, soft water and hard water. Both the waters are having the inclusion of salt. There's no doubt at all. If the water is not having any kind of salt, it is called mineral water, or it is called the aqueous or condition, or the rainy water, which is not having any inclusion of salt. But if the water is having the inclusion of salt, it will be either in low concentration or in higher concentration. If it is in low concentration, it is called as soft soap, soft water, which is basically used for drinking purpose. And the second one is hard water, which is basically oceanic water or saline water. So basically the soaps are having a disadvantage. When we use soap in hard water, means the water which contains magnesium chloride, sodium chloride, magnesium bicarbonate, sodium bicarbonate, calcium bicarbonate, all that. When we are using soap in hard water, then the hard water is obviously having calcium and magnesium ions over there. So when this soap is used within the calcium and magnesium ion, then the calcium and magnesium ions are replaced with the sodium ion, and ultimately you will get calcium salt of that soap. Right now, soap which was sodium or potassium salt is coming in the contact of calcium and magnesium ions, and ultimately turning into the calcium or magnesium salt. And these calcium and magnesium salts are basically insoluble in water. Once again, hard water contains calcium and magnesium salt. Soap which was sodium or potassium salt is used over here. Calcium and magnesium salt ions exchange the sodium and or potassium ion, and ultimately we are getting calcium or magnesium salt and these calcium and magnesium salts are insoluble soap. So these are basically, this is basically the disadvantage of the soap. The same for the magnesium salt is also insoluble. So calcium and magnesium ions present in hard water, not allowing the soap to dissolve in that. So it is a demerit of the soap. Soaps cannot be used in hard water thus. Insoluble soaps create hindrance to the good washing. Insoluble soaps adhere to the fiber of the clothes. So basically, whenever we are using the soap in hard water, then neither the leather is forming, and even this is also harmful for the fibers of the clothes. So we are having two disadvantages of the one of the most important disadvantage. It is not forming the leather in the hard water. So soaps cannot be used in acidic solution even. So in presence of acid, soaps are not so quality containing. Acids present in the solution precipitate the insoluble free fatty acids. The fatty acids which are not turned into the salt and even present in soap are precipitated, means coagulated, इकट्ठे हो जाते हैं. Precipitated adhere to the fabrics, और इसकी वजह से जो फैब्रिक वगैरह है वो खराब होता है. Thus reduce the ability of soap to remove oil and grease from the fabric, और इस वजह से जो impurities हैं वो नहीं निकल पाती हैं. So now we are going to discuss about the very important point, and it is repetitively asked in examination. Maximum time it has been asked in examination. Actually, it is the mechanism of cleansing action of soap. How the soap work on the surface. So at the initial we have discussed about the structure of soap and detergent. The soap and detergent are basically having two forms, two sections in their structure. The one is a long tail like structure. This is non-polar, or it is hydrophobic, means it is lipophilic. The long carbon chain which is making the tail of the molecule, this is non-polar because of having carbon and hydrogen only. This is insoluble in water, means it is hydrophobic basically, and it is lipophilic by the nature because it is having non-polar nature. The hydrophobic part is carbon chain part, it is non-polar part, or it is oil soluble part. The second part of this structure of the second part of the soap structure is ionic part, which is having basically COO minus and Na plus. This ionic part, or also known as polar head, it is water soluble part, and basically it is hydrophilic. I have given you the clue. Anything which is hydrophilic will be lipophobic, and anything which is lipophilic, it will be hydrophilic. So basically the tail part or the carbon part is hydrophobic and the ionic part is hydrophilic. So these are the two important parts of a soap or detergent. The next thing is, when a molecule of soap has basically it is having two parts, a long hydrocarbon chain which is water soluble part, and the next one which is carbon chain, it is hydrophobic part. When soap is added to an oily or greasy part of the cloth or vessel, the hydrocarbon part of the soap dissolve in oil. That hydrocarbon or non-polar part is dissolved in water, while the ionic part is dissolved with the water. The water soluble part remains away from the oil. Big molecule of oil and soap break by rubbing into the small emulsified oil droplets. These oil droplets are washed away by the stream of water. Soap and detergent have similar mechanism. The mechanism or the working process of soap is called micellization. There is a small oil. This oil will get the attraction from the tail part. The head will be attracted by the water part, and thus a specific structure is formed over there. This is called micelle. The larger part is called micelle. This larger molecule is called micelle, and the process of forming that is called micellization. So basically micelle formation is the reason behind that. It will also be repeat in surface chemistry chapter. So that was the completion of soap. Now we are going to discuss about the detergent. Actually detergents are basically, these are synthetic detergent, no doubt. Soaps are not used in hard water. They are having two parts. The cleaning process of detergent and soaps are quite similar. So basically these are also known as soap-less soap. So basically detergents are having another name. These are also known as soapless soap. It has been asked in examination, define soapless soap, or why the detergents are called soapless soap. Soapless soaps are cleaning agents which have all the properties of soap but which actually do not contain any soap. The cleaning process is same, the mechanism is same, but they are not having any inclusion of soap. Since these are synthetic substances, therefore they are called synthetic detergents or commonly known as detergent. Detergent may be defined as the ammonium sulfate salt of long chain hydrocarbon containing 12 to 18 carbon atoms. With a carbon chain of 12 to 18 carbon, they are the ammonium or ammonium sulfate salt. Basically, these are also the salt, but they are having a limited number of carbon. Along with that, they are having ammonium sulfate as additional product. So these detergents are classified into the three forms. These are basically synthetic detergent can be defined as these are the sodium or potassium benzene sulfonate or alkyl sulfonate salt. So if we are going to distinguish the soap from the detergent, then soaps are basically the sodium or potassium salt of higher fatty acids, while the detergents are basically sodium or potassium benzene sulfonate or alkyl sulfonate salt. So these are classified into three categories: anionic detergent, cationic detergent, and non-ionic. Examiner can ask you question from here. First one, we are going to discuss about the anionic detergent. These are so called because a large part of their molecules are anions. Basically, the active form over here is anion, so that's why these are called anionic detergents. And it is the anionic part of the molecule which is involved in their cleaning process. They are sodium salt of sulfonated long chain alcohol or hydrocarbons. Basically, these are having lauryl. For example, we are having